Find ways when there's no way. Um, that's a huge one. I'm not gonna lie. That's a really that's an important one. There's always going to be this illusion of like you can't look at things at surface level. You know, whenever you're trying to accomplish things, you must have discernment to think that, okay, yes, it may look like it's this way and there's no way to go above it, but there gotta be some way around. You must have the courage, the delusion, the intention to understand that I want to get through this. I want to really push through in a way where it's it's possible. You know, you want to always believe that it's possible. You know, we live on this earth to do the impossible, right? To do things that nobody ever thought we would ever accomplish. You know, some people just live on this earth to just exist. You know, that's the duality of life. Is like you come here to this earth to do whatever the heck you want, right? Some people choose to live their life to the fullest. Some people choose to just exist. That's why I think that in life there's there's two types of people, right? You have people that lives empty lives, and then you have and then you have people that lives active lives. And people that lives active lives, they tend to strive better, right? They're not constantly, you know, living in a space of just wondering about other people's lives, you know? Um, we obviously like people like journalists, they all have a lot, things to do, but when people start trying to dig up personal things and you know, I never understood, you can obviously do your research. There's always going to be trails of what type of person is what, you know, um, but people are going to paint their picture however way they want, Um, narratives are always going to get written, and you should never just fall for anything that that's not true. Um, People are gonna be people. This the life that we live. A lot of people, like I've seen the tail end of like true illusion where like you were actually at a spot where something happened, or you've experienced certain experiences, and the world looks at it one way and it's a totally different experience. And that's where it's like, wow, look at what a headline or a narrative can do. It can literally change so many people's mentalities and minds. And it's a powerful thing, but um, uh, it's just it's kind of weird, but that's the you know you know Dick Gregory always talked about the magic glasses of sometimes in this world you have the ability to see things that not everybody is going to see, right? You can't take them off, and you can't put it on nobody else. That's the gift and curse of it. um I believe I have the magic glasses because there's just things that I see in this world, because I'm constantly peeling back the layers of life, right? Every day I'm peeling back layers. Like whenever I'm reading something and it's like, you'll have a headline or you have it some certain way, I always peel back those layers, right? Is it always best for me to speak out and say something about it? No. There's a time and place where, you say things, and there's a time and place where you don't say things, right? It's not making that you're complacent, or it doesn't make it, but it's being strategic. And I think that um that's the give and curse about certain things of having, the magic glasses, that like you have just this ability to peel back the layers and see it for what it really is, right? And even in your head, if you have like, I'm so humble that I can think one thing 100% one way, and if there's a different perspective or just a different evidence, or I'm humble enough to hear and bring whatever perspective into my life to open my horizons. I never think that I'm my way is the only way. I never ever want to believe that. You know what I mean? Even when I give advice, it's like, you know, these are just things from my perspective. I don't see it as the gospel or the truth. It's just a truth that I've experienced. Things that I looked at might not work out for you. So you got to be open and honest. And my best just perspective is to just never feel like you're too smart. Always feel that there's space to grow. Always. Always. I'm constantly reading. I'm constantly that my favorite thing is just to peel back the layers. There's just so many things that we can peel back the layers of in this life. And I think that's what creates this sort of richness about life, is that there's always more things to peel back, because we always, crystallize and if you ever heard of the golden nugget, right? It's like it's gold on the outside, but it's shit on the inside. Because we've crystallized shitty things, right? That on the outside, if you don't have the discernment to peel back the layer, you're going to see it in a great light. And that's just the reality. It's like, hey, that's fine, you should never feel however way you want to feel, right? But for me, it's like, I'ma always seek truth. Some people don't want to seek truth. Some people just want to live in their blissful reality, right? They don't want to be ignorant. And I'm not saying like it's a bad thing, but that's where they choose to live their life. It's just live a blissful life, right? I want to live a truthful life. Does that make me any better than the other person? No. It's just I want to see things for what it is. I don't want to be under a spell or an illusion. So, yeah, man. I mean, there's always things to just look at and have just a level of discernment, but you just choose the way that you want to live your life at the end of the day, right? And like I said, those are just little things of just always finding a way, man. That it's just, to me, when you can find ways of how to build on things, you can find ways on how to get better at writing, get better. Like, life always provides a way to improve. And it's on you if you want to put that time in. Okay? Last topic. Well, it kind of... That probably was the last topic. So it's like little things like that, man. I just think about, and all we can do is just build. build on the little things that we know, build on the little things that we learn, and to just constantly go after it. Constantly give yourself a chance. And when you can wake up and just give yourself the ability to learn, give yourself the ability to think and not rely on ChatGPT. Because right now we're moving in a space where we have entities that gives us every answer that we want. It's a dangerous thing because it kind of molds your brain to like believe everything that a computer says, but you got to have discernment in every space. You have to challenge things. And I'm a challenger. As much as my AI say certain things, I challenge it. Like, nah, I don't think that. I don't I don't want you, don't assume that I'm thinking that. Don't assume I don't just take what ChatGPT says as the gospel. I can't. I just can't. And so I think that's what makes me unique in a sense where um, I just like the challenge of life, man. And I welcome it, and I just see so many great things in the future. I didn't get like this. I wasn't born like this. I was not born like this. I was very just I was blissful, very blissful, just growing up. Like I just thought the roses were red and the violets were blue. You feel me? And that's just I lived in it. I mean, it was great to live in because it was just a beautiful, just you know, everything felt perfect. But you know, when reality hits and the things that you see aren't really the things that you see, it just changes your perspective.